What's going on, everyone? This weekend, as y'all know, I was all over the place. All over the place was basically everywhere except for the gym. I did not do any kind of physical activity. Well, I did help with moving. My sister was moving, so I did do some physical activity, but in between that, there was a lot of eating and there was a lot of just sitting around, and there was a long drive that was just a lot of sitting. So the end result of all of that from this weekend was that I put on 4 pounds. Might not sound like a lot. Psychologically, that does a lot for me. Like putting on 1, 2 pounds, no big deal. Putting on four, mentally I start to feel like I went backwards. So I'm out here on the track. My workout for today just consisted of 8 laps, which is about 2 miles. For some, that might be like that's not that much, and for others, it might be like that's a lot. But for me, it was a lot because if anyone knows anything about cardio, one moment. Yeah, if anyone knows anything about cardio, it's unforgiving. You could put in so much work and then you could take a small break, and then when you get back out there you struggle like I did today. This wasn't an easy breezy. I was able to do 2 miles on this track no problem before I went on my little break, and now it was a hard day, but that's okay. But what I wanted to say was about momentum. Does anyone know the feeling of pushing a car that is not the car runs out of gas or has some kind of issue? You got to push it somewhere, right? That's the same way that I see fitness. So wherever point that you're at where you stopped and you're not doing anything, that's where you are when the car has stopped. The first few pushes, or maybe even the first hard push, feels like your body exerted all this energy and the car moves like an inch. You're like, this car is not even moving, and I exerted to get it to move. Then you finally get your footing. Your foot gets into the ground. You start digging in and you start pushing. And the car starts moving a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more. Then you're in your stride. You're just trucking along, pushing the car. You're not even thinking about it anymore because the wheels are moving. The momentum is going. So while the momentum is going, it starts to feel easier. It's not that the car got lighter, but it's rolling. So you have your momentum going for you. That was what was happening for me in my fitness routine, especially from about May through September, October. I had my momentum. I was doing a race every weekend. I was in my locked in gym mode. And then I stopped for a few days and it feels like I'm starting over again. I'm not really. 4 pounds is not the end of the world. But I'll tell you something. Growing up, believe it or not, I had some kind of body issues. And I didn't realize that until recently, the last couple of years. And part of the reason why is because even though I was always like really athletic, I did a whole bunch of sports, I didn't like the way that my body was shaped because it was not, I was always kind of a stocky build. So I didn't want to be stocky. I wanted to be skinny and have abs. So I remember when I was maybe a teenager, a preteen, something like that, buying an ab rocker. And my mom being like, what are you doing with an ab rocker? I'm like, I want rock hard abs. To this day, I still don't have rock hard abs, maybe one of these days I'll get there if I get a little more disciplined in the kitchen. But yeah, I had issues for a while. I still have some issues. I have to tell myself something like gaining 4 pounds is not the end of the world. But I wanted to talk briefly about something that happened to me in the pandemic. And I wanted to talk about this because of a comment that I saw on my workout post. Oh, you owned an ab rocker? Those things do absolutely nothing. And they were expensive. Yeah, I saw a comment from D about a significant amount of weight that she had lost. I don't know if it was recently, but yeah, for me, during the height of the pandemic, during the lockdown, oh, you still have it? Do you use it, chocolate? During the lockdown, everything closed down over here in New York. All the gyms, anything that you could do for entertainment. And the gym at that time was my main place where I exercised. I wasn't coming to the track and running at that time. I wasn't working out outside. I was just going to the gym. So I said, I'm just going to chill for a little bit till the gyms open back up. They stayed closed for about 6 months. My job became remote. And everything was closed except for essential businesses. And I wasn't working for an essential business. So I was in my house 95% of the time. You still use it as a clothes rack. I was in my house 95% of the time. And so I put on, I want to say, maybe 30 to 40 pounds in about 4 months. 30 to 40 pounds doesn't sound like a lot, but for me it was a lot because I was already at 200 plus, which was not a comfortable weight for me. I had been at that for years, but it was not a comfortable weight for me. And there I was, about 240 pounds, depressed, barely moving my body, getting some injuries. I actually got some injuries due to inactivity. And yeah, it was a rough time. So it was kind of an emergency time for me. I got a personal trainer. I started to lose some of the weight, but it was really difficult. But then my dad had his stroke. That's what happened during that time. My dad had his stroke. And I said to myself, I want to just take some more time off of exercising and trying to eat right and all that stuff until my life kind of slows down and things get easier for me. But then I said to myself, you know what? Commit to this fitness thing because I will need the energy. I'll need the physical energy and the mental energy to be able to help take care of my dad, help with things with my mom, go back and forth with the different things that I need to do. He was still in the house at that time, so actually physically helping him, get up and do what he needs to do and go where he needs to go was a task. So it was the first time I started to look. And when I started to think about my health, I said, I want to do everything that I can to prevent myself from being in the position that he's in 30 years down the future. And that didn't start out here. It started at home in the kitchen. I adopted some different principles when it came to nutrition, and it started to change me from the inside out. The out is all aesthetics, to the point where when people are like, oh, you look so great, I'm like, I really wasn't thinking about that. It's like an added bonus. The way you look is an added bonus when it comes from the things you're eating and the way that you feel. So I say all of that to say, if you have stopped your routine for a while, you can start again. What most fitness instructors and trainers won't tell you is the start again part is probably the hardest part. because you don't have the momentum. Like I said at the beginning, the car is stopped and the first push is hard, and you have to make several more pushes before the momentum starts. A lot of people start for a week, new year, new me, or it's my birthday, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life, whatever. You got to commit to getting through the mud at the beginning, pushing through the mud when it feels yucky and it feels hard and everything hurts and you feel hungry and all this other stuff, right? Then you get to this middle portion where everything is just moving. Then you reach your plateau. You get to your plateau. Then it's like, I was able to push this far with what I was doing at this point in time. Now I have to do a little different. I have to change my routine up a little bit. I have to do a little more. Then you get to this point where I'm at right now, which is kind of like, I'm in a decent spot, but I'm trying not to be complacent. So that's my little thing about fitness, a bit of encouragement, and I hope y'all have a great day. And also, I'm gonna try to make Wellness Wednesdays a thing where I go through a workout on Wednesday. I didn't do it today. I don't know if I'll do it today. I might later. We'll see how things go. But that's what I'm gonna be doing going forward. So I will talk to y'all later.